Hello and welcome to our very first vlog here at BIrgu. We decided to start this off with our closest partners. So today here with us we've got Ozzy Chan, who, as most of you know, he is our in-house leather artisan here at BIrgu. And we're also delighted to have Liz Ayling, who is the founder of a niche eco-lux perfume house called Parfum to Understand. Welcome, both of you. So, let us begin. Liz, my first question, I address it to you. We talk about niche perfume house, but what exactly is a niche perfume house? Well, how would you define it?
Niche has become almost like commonplace in the perfumery circles. It's a term you'll hear a lot. And in fact, niche, because I've dissected this, really doesn't have too much to do with size of business actually. So people immediately use niche and think it's immediately going to be an artisan, but some of the ones that are categorised as niche perfume houses actually can be quite established brands these days. So if you look at the criteria that really would define a niche perfume house, I think one of the first things that comes to mind is that the heart of the perfumer is there from the first sort of conception of the perfume all the way through to seeing it on the retail stands. And that love and care and sort of passion is evident in the perfume. So if you're thinking about many of the mainstream brands like the Chanel's, which have enormous operations and a whole, teams and teams of perfumers, almost like industrial perfumers churning out perfumes. It's not that their heart isn't in it, and they're super trained, and it's extremely rigorous training, but they're there working very much to a very commercial brief. So niche to me is the heart of the perfumer is evident all the way through. And it's made with passion. It's not, the perfumes are not created because focus groups and marketing departments decide that that is what is going to sell. In my case, I think niche really would be the first category, but a part of me really does go into every batch that I make. It is still a small operation, and that I really do hope that the passion comes through from beginning to end in our product.
Right, and tell us a little bit about your inspiration for Parfum to Understand. The name itself is very intriguing. I don't know, what inspired you, what brought you to start this off, this perfume house?
I started training about 2013 in natural organic skincare formulation, and it was a point in that when I realised that actually I was more interested in the scent part that went into skincare. And with skincare you're quite limited as to how much fragrance you can put in, there are rules and regulations. So if you really want to go to town with scent, then you have to look at perfumery in all its different forms. The name Parfum Clandestin, when I thought about it, it actually fit the natural perfume. So predominantly I create natural perfumery products because natural perfumes will hug a little bit more intimately, a little bit closer to you. So the clandestine feel on the mystery that it's really the experience is the wearer experience it in a very personal way, rather than leaving a huge big trailing silage of 20 metres behind that you get with many of the synthetics.
Right.
That's partly where the name came from.
Right, you mentioned synthetics, and what's the main difference between natural perfumes and synthetic perfumes?
Yes, this is a debate, a very hot debate. It's been going on for many years now, especially with a lot of naturals, a lot of natural skincare coming more to the fore. People are looking for natural alternatives. And I think sometimes in not just the perfumery industry, but the cosmetics industry as a whole, we got into this synthetic natural good. So in a way, I make natural perfumes because I love them first and foremost, because I do feel that connection more with plants from which the origins of perfumery were natural perfume before chemistry arrived on the scene in the late 1800s. So I like that connection. And so it's very much a personal choice. Now, the difference between synthetics and naturals, I mean, there are many different facets depending on who you talk to. I mentioned one earlier that natural perfume will hug a little closer. It will be a more intimate experience for you and the people within a metre or two. You're not going to synthetic aroma chemical molecules will be put in perfumes to make them have a longer silage, greater longevity and greater radiance, so people can be 20-30 metres away if you pass by will still be hanging in the air. And naturals don't tend to do that. So that's one of the things. I think the other thing from the point of view of a maker of perfumes is that with naturals you have to let them, what we say called macerate, for a much longer time. You can't hurry the process, because if you take a rose oil, for instance, it can have about 350 different chemical constituents in it, and they still haven't discovered them all. And each rose will be different, each genre of rose will be, genus of rose will be different. So if you marry 350 from one drop of rose oil and goodness knows how much from a drop of jasmine, and you put them together, they won't work their magic immediately. You do have to allow more time, whereas synthetics can be off the shelf.
Yeah, I can really draw a lot of parallels here between leather and perfume, because as we will see later on with Ozzy, even when it comes to leather, there's a tanning process, which can be a natural tanning process or a chrome or a chemical tanning process. So even here, we will see that between leather and perfume there's more than meets the eye really, and the more we talk about it, the more we realize how leather and perfume are related, not only historically, as we will see later, but also in the way they're actually made, they're actually developed. So all this is very interesting.